Welcome back to the Tarantula Journal. This week was supposed to be a pretty routine feeding day, but as usual, the tarantulas had their own plans. On top of that, we had a fresh molt, few successful feedings, one feeding that didn't go quite how I expected, and one orange baboon tarantula that somehow couldn't find a dubia roach sitting right in front of it. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Before we got into feeding everybody, I wanted to show off my Poecilotheria vittata after her previous molt this past weekend. I'm always excited about a molt, but this one was especially fun because she's starting to show some adult colorations now, which is very exciting, and I swear, compared to her previous size, she's doubled in size, if not tripled. I mean, she is humongous now compared to what she was, but I'm sure it's not quite as large as I'm making it seem, but I think I'm just a proud father. I feel like every collection has their own resident bulldozer in the group. Mine just so happens to be this big blonde baby who I call Enid. She's my Phonopema calcodes. She is constantly digging and playing with her water dish, and I really wish I had video of it. I didn't think to hit record when I saw it, but watching her scoop large balls of dirt into her arms and drag it and kick it away out of the wherever she's excavating at the time is just the cutest thing in the world, and I could just sit here and watch her for hours. So I recently started my own dubia roach colony, and I gotta say I wish I've done this sooner. It's just so convenient not having to constantly go to the pet store and buying crickets and struggling to keep them alive. I don't know what it is, but crickets are just the hardest thing for me to keep alive for whatever reason. And these dubia roaches, there's no smell, especially if you stay on top of removing, any dead carcasses that may be in there. They'll eat pretty much any vegetable that you put in there, and they reproduce so quickly, and it's really nice having every range of life stage of these roaches, so you have the perfect size feeder for whatever size tarantula you're trying to feed. Has really made life a lot easier, and the only thing is, these populations can grow rather rapidly, but if it ever gets to a point where I'm just being overrun with roaches, then I'll just call up a local pet store and see if I can offload some of them, just as long as they'll take them off my hands. So I totally expected my HMAC to have a pretty explosive feeding response. I think it's partly due to the dubia roach immediately going behind that little water cup right there as to why he slowly crept in. But either way, it was a pretty good fight after he latched on. Now this dubia roach is probably a little too big for him, but he hadn't eaten in a while, and I figured he could use a little extra to eat today. But even with the larger size roach, he still manages to take the roach down pretty well. So unfortunately with my pink toe here, I got the camera set up and got the roach and put the roach in there. She took it down, and I realized that I forgot to hit record. So you're seeing her after the fact as she's enjoying her roach. And I'll remember next time to always press record before I get going. And now we have my OBT, which I totally thought was a surefire, good, exciting feeding clip for today. But with everything else, you know, it just only makes sense that it goes in line with the rest of the feedings today. What usually takes all about 3 seconds. He searched the enclosure for seriously about 10 minutes, never finding the roach. And as you can see, the dubia roach is just playing dead right here in the middle of the web, and no success. If you happen to play the game Mecha Chameleon, this just goes to show how powerful hiding in plain sight can be sometimes. You know, it's a real inspiration to us all out there. Days like this are exactly why I love this hobby and why I'm really enjoying starting to document this. You know, sometimes you get incredible feeding responses. This time, obviously, not so much. And I'm learning to turn the camera on before I do anything, because I've learned sometimes you just miss the shot. And obviously, sometimes an OBT forgets how to find its dinner. But every week, there's another story waiting to be told. I hope you continue to follow along and like and subscribe, and you know, follow as I get better at this whole video making thing. And thanks for spending some time in the tarantula room with me, and until next time.